Product images are expensive. If you have a business or like a dropshipping store and you want to create images for your products quickly, then OpenAI just changed the game for you, okay? Because now you can access their image API, you can automate the entire process, and you can use an AI agent to expand and even create the prompts for you, okay? So stick around and I'll show you how to build this. This automation has two major requirements, okay? The first one is you want a client or job specification. So when you are creating ad creatives for like an e-commerce business or like a brand, you want to be as detailed as possible in the prompt, okay? Because the AI will expand on that and it is trained to generate the image prompt. But if you give it as much detail in the input, you're going to get much better output, okay? And I'll give you some guidelines on what to do for that, okay? The second thing you want to do is you want to verify your organization inside of OpenAI, because without the verification, you're not gonna be able to use the new image API, okay? And then the third thing is just have fun with it, right? Like this is a lot of fun. So let's dive right in and let me show you what the automation looks like, and then I'll show you what the output is. I've used a chat trigger to trigger the automation. The only thing that you have to enable is if you go inside of the chat trigger, you wanna basically allow file uploads, okay? So go to add field, there should be a file uploads, and just make sure this is checked, okay? And what this will allow you to do is this will allow you to actually upload images that you want to edit, okay? Then the next node is going to be an upload image, because we have the image now in the chat. We need to upload it and save it somewhere before we can manipulate it with the AI language model later downstream in the flow, okay? Then I've created a creative prompt agent here. And so this is an AI agent, and it's just got a chat model and simple memory, and I'll discuss the prompt and how to get the best results with this, okay? Then you want to download the image that you uploaded here, and you want to create the image using the new prompt and the data from the image, okay? So now this is going to expand on whatever you input into the user chat, and it's going to give you a better output, okay? Then, and I've covered this in a previous video, it creates, once the image is created inside of OpenAI, it creates a base64 string file, okay? Which is no good to us because it's just a bunch of letters and numbers. So what we need to do is we need to convert that to image, okay? And we're using a convert to file node for that. And the last thing is we want to basically save the image, okay? So let me just show you what the prompt is, and I'll just show you the output quickly, okay? So I downloaded an image just off Google for a Nivea cream, like a plastic tin. And the prompt is a realistic female model with clear glowing skin holds a blue Nivea cream tin confidently in one hand. The model smiles softly, showcasing smooth and hydrated skin. The background is softly lit, minimalistic, white pastel, etc. So I've given it a very specific prompt, right? And this goes back to my client or job specification, because the output is going to be dependent on the input, okay? So that's it. I've plugged that in. The agent has run, and I'll show you what the output looks like. I think you'd be pretty damn impressed, to be honest with you. And this is it. So I literally took that off Google, right? This Nivea cream tin, which is a real product. And then the AI has done all of this, okay? It's added the texture, it's added the colors, the lighting, it's added the font. And you can even go beyond the scope of what I've covered in this video, and you can even make this copy even better. You can add buy now buttons. There's so much more you can do with this, okay? So let's go ahead and build this thing. Like I mentioned, the trigger node is a chat. The second node is going to be a Google Drive node, which is just an upload file. And just connect this up to your Google Drive account, operations upload, and then the data input name is basically data 0. And the reason for that is if you go back to the chat node and just go to the first item, this is what it's called, right? It's called data 0. And this is the image that I uploaded with my prompt in the chat, okay? Then basically give it a name. So I've just called it image, and you can select the drive and folder. And once you test it, this is the output that you'll get, okay? So all this means is that the image that you've attached into the chat will be uploaded into Google Drive, okay? The next node is going to be an AI agent, so you should be very familiar with that one. I use that quite a bit on this channel, but here it's here, okay? And what you want to do is you want to connect up to a chat model. So I've used OpenAI for this, and you want some simple memory, okay? So if I go inside of the agent, the source for the prompt, I've defined it because I'm taking it from the chat input. So if I go down all the way to the bottom, it's basically the chat input here, okay? So this is what I typed in, or whatever the user or whatever scenario you're going to use this in is going to pull it in from the chat model, okay? Or from the chat window. And then I've added a system prompt. So just click on add option here, create system message, and then this is the message here. So you are an expert, add creative assistant specialized in generating Meta, Facebook, and Instagram ad image concepts. Now, I've given it a context of Meta. It can be any platform, right? It can be banners for blogs or whatever, right? You just got to set some context up. So your job is to take user-provided inputs, which is coming from the chat trigger, and generate a highly effective visual prompt for an AI image generator such as Midjourney, DALL-E 3, or Leonardo, right? So again, it's more context. Your output must be concise, vivid visual prompt, suitable for a commercial meta ad, right? And again, I've given it some guardrails of what I want right now. Again, this goes back to the point that I made at the beginning of the video, which is just get clarity. To get clarity, figure out what the brand is. Now, if you are working for an agency or you're working for an e-commerce brand, you'll know what their style is, right? Because you'll see the other ads, right? If you're not sure, have a look at the Meta Ads library, okay? And I've got automation on that. I can scrape it and give you ideas, okay? So there's lots of ideas on the Meta Ads library, and you can see what your competitors are running on Facebook, and it's live, okay? And Facebook is giving us this information. The end output should be formatted image prompt in quotes. Example, image prompt, a sleek smartphone, a smartwatch glowing on a granite countertop. Again, this is just a placeholder, but it's just an example, okay? Do not include any other text, explanation, or formatting. So I've been very specific in what I wanted to do, okay? Then that's it for that. When you run it, you'll see a prompt that it's plugged in, okay? And it will basically optimize the prompt, okay? Now, you can give it much more detail here, or you could just let the AI agent handle it. Both scenarios are good. The creative prompt agent will just optimize it for the OpenAI prompt, okay? Then for simple memory, you just want to define it below, and you basically want to take the session. So from here, basically, when chat received, let me find it, this one here. Let me go to schema, and it's this one here. Let me go down to the bottom, and it's going to be the session ID, this one here, okay? So this is what will give it the unique ID, which is this value here. And then the next thing you want to do is you need a download image node, okay? So if you've got the image uploaded, now you need to download it before you can send it over to OpenAI and run the prompt, okay? So just click on this. This is a very standard module. The file is the resources file, the operations download, and this time we're going to get the image by the ID, okay? So if you've gone to the upload image, I've just dragged and dropped this one here, okay? When you run it, you'll see the output, which is this file here. Then you know it's worked. Pretty straightforward. And then the next node is going to be the HTTP request node, okay? So it's this one here. And I'm just going to come out of this because I've already got it. So let me just delete this one. Okay, and if I go inside of here, you're basically going to want to run the edits endpoint, okay? So if you're not sure and you want some more information, just go over to the API reference here. This will tell you about the create image edit. You've got the endpoint, it's a post, and it's got a lot of information in here of what we need to do, right? So this is the way this is what OpenAI requires us to do when we send the payload over, the data over, okay? So the authentication is I've done the predefined credential type, so just set that up as you normally would. You should already have an OpenAI account if you are using AI in other automations. It's exactly the same, but we're just using a predefined one, which has already been set up, okay? Then for the send body, like I said, on the API reference, this is the syntax, or basically the format that we need, okay? So the body type is form data, the parameter type is form data, and then the name is prompt, and then for the value, we're just going to get the prompt from the previous AI agent, okay? Which is this one here. A realistic female with clear glowing skin, etc. Yeah. And then the parameter type is going to be a n8n binary file. So add another parameter. This time it's image with the square brackets because that's what they tell us that we need. So here you go. It's all there. And there's more information on here if you want to read up about it, which does help if you are using API, okay, to do this. Then the input name is data because that's what the file is called from when you download it on the previous node, which is the Google Drive node. And then the last parameter that we need is we've got to specify the model, right? Which one do we want to use? And for this, it's form data. The name is model, and then the value is GPT-image-1. That's what we're using for this, okay? When you run the output, you're going to see this, okay? Now this, you're going to see a really strange string like this of letters and numbers. This is the B64 JSON, okay? So that's why I've got another convert to image or convert to file. I'll show you what that looks like. convert to file node, okay? But the actual function we need is move base64 string to file, okay? And then the input is just going to be this node here, this field here, which is the b64_JSON field, okay? And then the output is just called data. I've just left that data, okay? If you know, and you know it's worked because it's actually outputted the string into now an image that we can actually use. When you test a step, this is what you'll see, okay? And then the last module is basically upload. So find a Google Drive, which is this one here, and then we're going to go to upload, okay? So now I'm going to go inside of here. It's connected to my Google Drive. The operations upload. The input name is data because that's what it is here, right? So you just go reflect whatever you call it here, okay? Then I've called it a new image for the file name. Again, you can call it whatever you want. And it's at the root. When you run it, you'll see it here. But more importantly, when you go into the Google Drive, this is what the image will look like, okay? So this is very exciting. This is a new feature that OpenAI has just released. And there's gonna be a lot of use cases for this, okay? I've just shown you a very simple one, but you can go out there, have fun, and really kind of blow this up, okay? Now, there is one last thing that I wanna show you. So we've done the client verification, client job specification. The thing that I wanna show you now is verify your organization in OpenAI, okay? So if you wanna use the image API, you gotta go to settings here and then go to general, okay? So here you've got verifications. It takes a few minutes, right? You can do it on your mobile phone. You'll scan a QR code and they just need some ID. So it can either be your driver license, passport, or whatever, like a national ID. They'll take the front and back. And yeah, it's very straightforward. Give it about 15-20 minutes before you run the automation again, and it will work. The changes will go through, okay? So that's basically that done as well. And you know, most importantly, have fun with it. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas. It's given you ideas for what you can use, what you can use for this particular operation inside of OpenAI, and obviously real world use cases. The most obvious one for me is, you know, running creatives for ad agencies or just providing it as a service, right? Because I used to run an ad agency that ran, you know, paid ads for Facebook, for Instagram, now obviously Meta, also TikTok. So I understand what's required when it comes to creatives, okay? And you can knock these out very, very quickly. If you are launching like a business, something like a dropshipping store, again, this is a quick and easy way for you to test images. All you need is the product itself, and then you can modify the AI and all that, and just have a lot of fun with it, okay? So thanks again for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.